it was a catastrophe. I'm not sure what happened. It was a mess. It was a lot that happened in there.
What's up, folks? Welcome back. So hopefully you watched the video before this that was about my 7-day sea moss only fast. It was like 180 hours of just sea moss and water for like 7 days. I hope you watched that one. If you did not, here is the little card so you can go watch that, then come back to this video. Because in this video, I want to talk about what I learned over this 7 days about myself as a person and my body, just to see if you can kind of relate to that at all, or if you've done your own fast, if this is something you've also, fallen in line with. So the craziest thing though is today, the recording of this is the 24th, all right? And I stopped my fast on the 22nd. Now, on the 22nd, I weighed 157.4 pounds. And then today, when I stepped on the scale, I weighed 167.4 pounds, right? So I gained 10 pounds in 2 days, okay? And before I even started the fast, I was 171.8, right? So I gained 10 pounds in 2 days. And I'm looking at my chart here, and I'm gonna show you actually, I'm gonna hit the little screen recorder so you guys can see it, everything that happened. So let me just sync it up. Now it's synced. All right, so you can see here, I was 157, right? And I went up to 167, but everything else on this chart essentially went almost back to where it's supposed to be. BMI, body fat, body water, like everything essentially went back to where it's supposed to be. So I spent 7 days of not eating any nutrients really, besides 10 calories a day of sea moss and water. And I was able to reverse all of that by just eating food for 2 days. Right? My body is essentially going back to where it's supposed to be, getting back level, which to me says a lot about myself. Like my body is meant to be at this certain point, or is it just my eating habits? Because here's a couple things like throughout that week, right? So throughout those 7 days, I did not defecate at all. I didn't, because there was nothing for me to defecate. So I didn't. But since I've eaten, like, honestly, right now, I gotta take a dump, like a huge dump. I gotta take a really big dump. In these 2 days, I've had to go to the bathroom like 3-4 times because I eat a lot. But then what I realized is that like, I'm very gluttonous, right? Like I was trying to find a test online about the 7 deadly sins and which one do I peak? Because I feel like it's gluttony. But then like, what are my other percentages? But I feel like my peak one's like gluttony because I see food and want to eat it. Like today, we were gonna go swimming and we took the boys there, but the pool was closed. So we went to Pizza Hut instead. I haven't had Pizza Hut in a long time. So as I was making my food in the kitchen, boss was like, he didn't want his breadsticks. So I was like, bet. So I started eating his breadsticks. I didn't need his breadsticks. I just started eating them. And I just love to eat. Like I really like food. I'm so gluttonous. And if you look at the end part of the last video where I was laying on the floor, it's because I ate so much food. I overstuffed myself.
I'm laying on the floor.
Why?
My stomach's full of food.
That's what happens when you eat. Did you overeat?
Yeah. I ate too much food. And then I had a milkshake.
And essentially my body put on 10 pounds and was reversing in that instant. It was like just reversing that whole day from everything I just did. Like it just completely erased everything I did. And it has me wondering like, am I just am I gluttony itself, like incarnate? Because what I'm trying to figure out is like a nice medium where it's like I'm eating the food I want to eat and enjoying it, but I stop before I get full. Because Christine has the amazing ability to make a plate of food, eat as much as she's like, okay, I'm done. And she's just done eating for the day. But I'm looking at this plate of food and like, she has this amazing roasted, like these roasted cauliflower and then like this nicely charred mushroom sitting there just looking pretty, and I want to eat it. And then she's like, I'm done. Like, I don't understand her self-control in that sense. And I'm still trying to figure it out. But throughout this whole week, again, my biggest thing was like, I wasn't hungry. I realized that I was very lethargic. And I felt as though I could have overcome that if I tried, but I didn't have the energy to try. So this was my very first fast, but I don't think this will be my last. I think what I'll do from going forward for the future, what I may do is every once in a while, like do a weekend fast, 2 days, no eating over the weekend, stuff like that, just to give my body a chance to repair itself, because I am so gluttonous. Like, I really do just like food. Like, I just ate some milkshake before I started recording this video, or drank some milkshake. Like, I just like food, I like the taste of food. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, honestly. Like, I don't like, so another thing is like, I don't like the feeling of feeling my stomach, right? So throughout that whole week, my stomach didn't make a single sound. There was no pain, there was no issues, there was no movement in my stomach. But since I've been eating, there's always I can feel the movement. And it's a very interesting thing to say, like, when I had to get some dental work done, like I had to get one of my teeth pulled a while ago, I could feel when the dentist was putting the Novocaine, like, into my gums. Like, I can hear the tearing of, like, my gums when they were putting the needle in. And he was like, you shouldn't be able to hear this. Like, it's very thin, you shouldn't be able to hear such a thing. But I could hear the tearing. So my body and I have a very interesting tuning. Like, I can hear when muscles are, like, not working properly and stuff. So for me, it was weird not hearing my stomach in motion for the very first time in my entire life. And now I can always feel it, and I can hear it when it's doing stuff. And it's very interesting, because now I'm trying to figure out, is my body working harder than it should work just because of my gluttonous ways? And also, let me know how many times I've said gluttony or gluttonous, because I don't say it this often. But I'm just trying to figure it out. Like, it's a lot. I don't know, it's a lot. Because I've never deprived myself of food and drink before. Like, I had water, of course, but I've never just deprived myself just because. This was the first time I did something like this. And I'm still trying to really wrap my head around. Like, I'm still understanding everything that my body did and didn't do throughout that week. So I try and do some more updates as I start to process it more and review back over the video and just think more about how I felt at certain times and compare it to now. Because, like, right now I just feel, like I said, I gotta go to the bathroom, but, like, I feel heavy. Like, I feel heavy. And that's not like a normal feeling. But then throughout the entire week, I didn't feel heavy, but I felt weak. Like, my muscles felt weak. I couldn't properly move them the way I wanted to. Excuse me, like, even there, I had to burp. And throughout that whole week, I didn't have to burp because there was nothing to burp. There were no gases in motion, right? Like, I didn't even fart that whole week. Maybe like once or twice, maybe, after taking the sea moss and my vitamins. But, like, now I'm up the place. I'm always in motion, just. So it's like, it's interesting, because that's just what I thought was natural, was just how things went with my body. And I guess it is, but then technically it doesn't have to be. So I'm just trying to figure it all out, because, like, I've never just not eaten. Right? That just was never an option growing up, just to not eat for a week. Like, even when I went vegetarian in high school, I was still eating, right? I was eating salmon, like, every day. And that's also funny. Like, what kid that lives in the hood is eating salmon every day? This guy. Give me some salmon. But it's like, just different. It's very different. And I would love to know if you've ever done a fast. Like, how did you feel in your first one? What was that initial feeling? Did you feel hungry, starved? Were you just like, oh my gosh, this is terrible? And then, like, afterwards, when you went back to eating, were you just like, this is weird? Because, like, even now, I feel like I don't feel like I have to eat. I just want to eat. So now I'm trying to figure out, like, do I need to eat as much, or should I find, like, eat just this much and just let it go? But of course, at that point, I'm fighting my natural urge and desire to just shove stuff in my mouth. Because, like, if it looks good, I'm putting it in my face. Right? You get what I'm like? It has to go there. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. But yeah, that's just my rambling rant there, trying to figure out what's going on with this thing. I've never done this. So I would love for you to chime in and let me know how you felt on your first fast. And if you haven't done one, if you decide to do one, let me know what you think is going to happen. And then when you're done, come back to the video and comment under your own comment of what happened because it's just so different. Like I really thought my body was gonna be like, I'm done, and I'm sitting here just like, hey guys, I'm alive. Like, what the frick? But yeah, so do me a solid favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and also if you haven't noticed, I have a lot more energy. Like if you compare it to the end of that video to now, I have a lot more energy. I didn't have that before because I was just depleted. Now I'm just like, hey, what's up? I'm zooted. So it's like there's a trade-off. Like, do I want to feel heavy and gassy but have energy? Or do I want to be like, none of those and have no energy? It's weird. But yeah, do me a solid favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video if you can. Go home and tell somebody you love them. I'll catch you next video. I appreciate you for being here, and I'll see you later.
Okay, so look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I just got out of the bathroom, and it was a catastrophe. I'm not sure what happened. It was a mess. It was a lot that happened in there, and I don't know if it's worth it. Like I don't know if eating is worth it anymore because it was violent. It hurt. It was just, and I don't know what to do with this information. I really don't. I just don't. I don't know what to do. I just don't.